You're listening to The Middle Ground on WVCR 88.3, The Saint. I'm your host, Johan Matthews, and I'm here as usual with my buddy.
I'm Jack Kelly. I'm also here with
Tony.
Just Tony.
It's like
Just
Cher,
Tony
last
today.
name.
And we are The Middle Ground. We're a new show here on WVCR, The Saint. We're here to be a soapbox or an outlet for people with things to say.
Yeah. So if you have things to say.
Before we get into anything, I think more people know what soapbox means than we give people credit for.
We were having this conversation before we started here
We were.
about soapboxes, which, Tony, if you want to explain where soapbox comes from for those young listeners.
Oh, okay. Yeah, soapbox. Everybody should know what standing on your soapbox is. It's you when you're selling newspapers, you'd flip the news box over, you'd stand on it, and you'd say extra, extra, and you yell about things.
I didn't
You
know
also
about
give your
that.
stump speeches.
I
Could
didn't
be
know
on a
about that.
stump.
It could be on a
Could be on a
stump.
soapbox.
So
The
stump
idea is
box
the
or
same.
soapbox, either
Stump
is
box.
work.
Yeah.
Stump
The idea
box.
is you're standing on something so you can shout.
So you can be taller than the
Be
crowd
yelled.
you're yelling to.
Okay.
Exactly.
Why soapbox was so particularly the thing that came in boxes that people had in abundance
I
of?
think kind of everything came in boxes way back when.
Didn't you think
Yeah.
people didn't shower as much though? You know, you think soapbox?
True. Yeah, no, yeah, probably not.
Well, you got one box of soap per city.
Oh,
I think that's how it
Okay.
worked.
that's probably
and,
what.
and if you found it on the corner, you stood up and preached.
Exactly.
You just preach.
Yeah, I think you sold me on the soapbox at this point.
There you go. Or the stump box, either way.
Yeah.
Stump box.
Enough stumps.
Exactly.
Enough stumps.
So that's what we are, or we're aiming to be, is the stump box or the soapbox or the outlet for people who have things to say.
Yeah, things to say, particularly young people, as we are, who are involved in social service leadership, or you're just interested in community building.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day, is I think we need a rebranding of community service or social service, because when you say community service, it makes you think of a convict on the side of the road picking up
Exactly.
trash. And if you say social service, it makes you think of an old lady in a home helping
Yeah,
people with medical problems, which is not what any of us do. I've
Yeah.
never been a convict.
I may have been
Likewise.
a convict. I may have been a convict at one point.
I think we
but,
need to-
I agree with you.
And I don't like orange.
Orange does not flatter. Orange jumpsuits. But I think it should be rebranded to something like national service or civil service is even a better way to put it.
National service and civil service are both things, though.
They are both things. So I don't know what you could really call it.
You know
but-
what I've been doing on my recruitment season is I've been saying community builder. I've been
Mm,
telling people, you
It's
know,
not bad.
not
the
bad.
program that we're a part of, each and every one of us hosts here today, we're a part of a program called AmeriCorps. And when I talk about the program, I tell them, I'm giving you an opportunity to fight poverty with a national network of community builders. So that's my sales pitch.
I think that's a good way to put it, because I usually say we're the domestic Peace Corps, because they just
I've
glaze
gotten
over
away from
whenever
that.
I say.
That's actually usually what
Yeah.
I say as well. It's like
Yeah.
Peace Corps, but I didn't want to leave America.
Really?
So
That's a good way to put it, though. Community builders. I like that.
Yeah.
Battle poverty. And there are different levels to it, but we're the poverty fighters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
I guess everyone's a poverty fighter.
Well,
also those for those of you out there who don't know, AmeriCorps has a couple different levels, like Jack was saying. Currently, we're all on the Vista level, which is a volunteer in service to America. But there are many levels that you can get involved with
yeah.
if you're interested. So
There's Senior Corps. There's NCCC, which is the National Community something,
Cooperation, possibly.
maybe.
Could be a ton of
They
things.
they do a lot of
It
building,
can be anything.
a lot of actual
I don't
direct
know what
service.
it is either, but I feel like we probably should.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Eh.
Well, we're Vistas.
We
know
what
we know
ours
what
is.
Vista
We're the
means.
top,
Exactly.
the top echelon.
I feel like we
I like to
met our
think so.
quota with acronyms.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Exactly.
That's the thing. There are a lot of acronyms when you do service.
Yeah, there are, and yeah, I think I like the community builder
I like that.
for the acronym for Vista there.
So if you're out there listening, bear with us as we kind of get our feet here. This is our first show, but we'll be working our way in. We just
Yeah.
wanted to give ourselves a little introduction.
hmm
Definitely, and you know, we've been talking a bit about service and how it's part of our backgrounds, but you know, we're actually all from different aspects. Some of us different countries. I'm actually from St. Vincent and Grenadines, so I'm not technically American, but I am in AmeriCorps. So, you know, somewhat interesting.
I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, not nearly as exciting.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm
Remind
from
me.
Massachusetts, so
Okay.
and Florida.
Okay.
Identify
Team
as
America
both.
over here.
Yeah.
America, to America.
You're going back to St. Vincent soon.
I hope this summer. This summer, I hope to go back. Yeah, yeah. I've been saying that every year though, so who knows?
And you were saying that it's changed a lot since you left, right?
It has. I think it's changed a lot, in particular because of you Americans. I think that
So it's in a good way then.
yeah, I think globalization has said it's left its stamp on St. Vincent. You know, there's people in this 90-degree weather wearing hoodies. When I was growing up, that was inconceivable. And people have like, you know, scarves and hoodies and silly stuff. You know, it's just all glamour and unnecessariness.
You
That's
said that.
interesting.
You said that 90-degree weather.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the equator, isn't it?
Yeah, but why would you wear scarves and hoodies in 90-degree weather?
I don't know. Guess why? Because I've seen it on American TV.
That big of an
Swear.
influence.
I feel like
I
it's
think so.
dangerous.
It is dangerous.
You get like a heat stroke.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like wearing a scarf up here in upstate New York.
Well, I mean, you lived in Florida for a while. Did anyone wear scarves and hoodies in Florida?
Literally never.
Never.
I mean, Dillard sold them.
Okay.
But
Well, Dillard's had them.
sure, yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
anyone
I don't know if
bought
anyone
them.
actually bought scarves,
Yeah.
but okay. So you and I were talking about the Olympics earlier.
We were.
If you have not lived under a rock, you'll know that the Winter Olympics are happening right now. And Johan and I were saying that they seem to have not had much steam this year.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's intentional because of the beginnings of this whole process. You know, we're against Russia and the principles of its leader, so naturally, the media is not going to give it as much coverage, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I think it's got a decent amount of media coverage, but that's just because of how controversial it's been so far. I mean, the whole anti-gay thing, the whole them not being fully prepared, or at least that's how it's been displayed, is them not being fully prepared with the hotels and the water and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got coverage, but it's definitely been mainly bad coverage.
I feel like even the sports, though, have not had much of a
Yeah.
staying power on TV. I saw that it was something like NBC had 16.7 million viewers, which is the lowest viewership of Winter Olympics since like 94. But I think people are just starting to care less about it, along with the fact that we're kind of not that popular with it because it's in Russia right now.
I don't care a lot about it, but I could care a little less. So
I honestly don't care that much either, and I feel like I love the World Cup. I do like the Olympics when it's on, the Summer Olympics, but I just couldn't get into the Winter Olympics this year, and I don't know. It just doesn't seem that fun, and I feel like I'm not the only one. I feel like people at our age, in the 20 to 30 age range, just don't really, unless you're a pro snowboarder, care about it.
yeah, I've never really been much into sports at all, but not really even the Olympics. I check the headlines to see where everything is. Like, oh, hey, we won some of these and we won some of those, and so, this country's in the lead. But overall, I never actually. It actually usually upsets me because it ruins the regular programming.
Yeah, goddamn.
Gotta watch Heart of Dixie.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that sport? There's a movie about it. I think it's called Cool Runnings. What's that sport?
Bobsledding.
Bobsledding. How many
classic.
countries do you guys think participate in bobsledding?
I think there's quite a few.
Unbelievable.
I think we won our first bobsled medal.
We
Yeah.
did with a BMW designed bobsled.
Wow.
Believe it or not, we
Wait,
employed the
MD.
Germans to make our
BMW.
American bobsled to win a medal.
Well, they're
Wow.
efficient.
They are
Okay.
efficient, ruthlessly.
Ruthlessly efficient.
But yeah,
American.
so Cool Runnings is about the Jamaican bobsled team. Yeah,
Yes.
and they crowdfunded their way to the Olympics this year. They had people pay for their way to get there. I think they're not a very big team. I think this is only their second time being in the Olympics. I could be wrong
Really?
about that, but maybe Cool Runnings was the first time. But I don't know how they did because I've not been following the Olympics. But yeah, bobsled's still a thing.
I think it's remarkable that that's a sport. How many countries can participate in that sport? You know,
Well, that
who
go-
has BMW designing sleds for them?
I think that goes for most winter sports, though. I mean, pretty much everyone south of the equator
The thing
can't really participate
You know-
because they have very little to no snow.
That's a great point.
For
And
most.
the sport that made me think about that recently was the sport skeleton, which either one you know what skeleton is?
Absolutely not.
So
Nope.
skeleton is basically, it's like a tray almost with sled skis on it. And
Okay.
you run down the bobsled slalom, you jump on it, and head first, you go down the slalom. It's one person, skeleton. And the girl who's, I think, the U.S. medalist in it, she's gorgeous. Or the British medalist, she's gorgeous. And I was wondering, what, as a kid, made her be like, Mom, Dad, I'm going out. I got a skeleton right now. I'm going to skeleton my entire life. Where would you find a hill that you could skeleton on? Where would you get a skeleton sled tray or something? And how do you become the best at going down a hill on a tray, basically?
I agree with that.
And be gorgeous. It's I don't know. It's interesting that people do even like curling. How do you get into curling?
I didn't know skeleton was a thing because that sounds like a lot of fun. Like I'm pretty positive that I am great at that. I've never done it. But I'm pretty sure I'm awesome.
Really cool helmets.
Yeah, I feel like it should correlate negatively your looks in regard to diving headfirst down a hill.
You would think so.
Well, if you're good at it, you'll never get hurt.
That's a good point.
That's probably why she's the best. That may be the motivation to be and maintain that first place.
You know what? I saw a friend on Facebook who lives in Atlanta, and she is getting into curling, which is weird to me. Like, how? Like, did you just go to your local hockey rink and you're like, hey, they're throwing stones around. Can I try?
How old is this friend?
22, 21.
No,
doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. I agree.
It's like learning how to play bridge. No one knows how to play bridge unless you're over 60.
Like
that's just factual.
I think you have to learn when you get old because you don't have friends.
Well, you have 3 or 4. You can't play bridge by yourself.
Play bridge
and I don't know how to
them.
play bridge. You might be able to play bridge by yourself. I don't know.
I honestly have no idea.
No clue.
Not allowed to learn how to play bridge until you're 60. I think curling's similar.
We need to do some education on ourselves here.
We do.
We need to do some education. Absolutely.
We need to get some education.
Yeah, I think so. So we can learn bridging and curling and all these types of things. But you know what? The other day I saw a promo letting people know of that they can learn how to play curling in Albany.
Really?
Yes.
Where?
I'm not too sure where it was, but it was a thing, and I was very surprised. There were free lessons for that one day.
Yeah, we did the Cupid crawl in downtown Albany to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of America this past weekend.
You mean
and
the
there
youth
were
of Albany?
What's up?
As in the youth of Albany.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there were a couple people there who had they were talking about doing a curling class, which is interesting that you said that because it was probably the same exact one.
You know, maybe you go to curling and you throw a stone down the ice rink and you're like, man, this is awesome. I want to do this for the next 4 years and go to a paradise in Russia and throw it in front of fans. Maybe it's really fun when you do it.
Perhaps if bowling isn't painful enough for you,
True.
try curling.
True.
Bowling, curling.
Do you have to get a 300 in curling?
I wonder.
I don't know how they score
Me
curling.
neither.
I don't know. It's got to be like shuffleboard with big stones, right?
Hmm.
And a little more finesse, I would imagine. I don't know. If you're out there and you don't know how curling works, get on our website at WVCR.com.
And let us know what you think about curling. And we'll be back with curling among other topics here on WVCR 88.3 The Saint.
We're going to Google some things.
Welcome back to WVCR 88.3 The Saint. You're listening to The Middle Ground. I'm Johan Matthews.
I'm Jack Kelly.
It's still Tony.
Still Tony, just still hanging out here. In the first segment, we were talking about the Olympics, which ended last weekend. And speaking of things that just ended, Black History Month is over. What do you guys think about Black History Month?
It was short.
It usually is, being February.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I feel like when you're not in public school, like grade school, high school, middle school, you aren't as advised about Black History Month as much. It kind of, like, you're told about it a lot when you're a kid, and then when you're out, a lot of people just say, hey, it's Black History Month.
Yeah, like I have to remind you.
It's been less advertised recently, it seems like.
Really?
Yeah, at least from my perspective.
So did that stop you guys from celebrating it as vehemently as you would?
A little bit, yeah, maybe a little bit.
Used to celebrate really hardcore in grade school. Black History Month.
Yeah.
The main reason that I remembered about Black History Month, and, well, I won't say remembered, but remembered about it, was because for my job, we have a website, and we celebrated Black History Month on there, and threw a lot of different things on there, like the death of Malcolm X, the invention of the Super Soaker, all that kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
But without that, I don't think I would have heard anything about Black History Month this month. Like nothing
Yeah.
on the radio or television or anything.
It was
At least-
quiet.
Not what I watch anyway.
I honestly can't remember anything I heard about the Black History Month this month. I think I heard one person on the radio mention it. I think she talked about George Washington Carver, which, like, come on, that's the example you can find.
I mean, it's, the same examples have been used consistently
Yeah.
since the beginning of this Black History Month thing.
It seems like we need some new ones, and there's a pretty good amount of them.
Do you think black people would just stop contributing?
That's what people seem to think. Just once you graduate high school, it's like, yep, this is done. You learned about it. Well done.
Well, I mean, Anthony mentioned Malcolm X earlier. So that's what I did to celebrate Black History Month. I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and it was phenomenal. And I actually did not know that he died on the 21st, and I actually finished the book on the 20th.
Ooh, that's poetic.
Yeah, it is. It is. But
How was the book?
I thought it was excellent, man. You might hear people kind of equate Malcolm X to some level of radical hate
Definitely.
or something. But when I read the book, what I got consistently from it was love. Yeah, it was overwhelmingly a love story
Interesting.
about him and his fellow man.
I've
black
not
man
heard
in
that about
America.
the book.
That's what I got, and it was just interesting. Just the way that he went about his whole life, it was so clear that he was lacking that love, and as he became an advocate for the black community in America, he found that love and was trying to express that love to the community, and he just had a very passionate way about helping people to find that love. So that was the legacy the book had on me. That was the impression.
Well, I like that. Maybe, I feel like I need to read that book. Or you gave me the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, the back.
I still can't
Bhagavad
pronounce it.
Gita.
I need to read that as well.
Really?
I need to brush up on these things.
You haven't read
I
it?
haven't read it yet. I've been reading Malcolm Gladwell's new book, David and Goliath,
Okay.
which is a pretty good book about not underestimating the underdog. I'm not all the way through it, but it's very good.
Well, I don't know. I feel like
Another Malcolm.
another Malcolm's all the way. But I mean, that's a consistent theme. You can't underestimate the underdog.
It
man.
never works. I mean, people who do that consistently fail. And what's funny is when I was reading that, the book came out just after Amazon announced that whole like drone delivery scheme,
Okay.
and which is obviously not happening yet, but it's feasible. And the CEO of FedEx did this interview where he was like, "It's not gonna work. FedEx and UPS have the market cornered. We're gonna win all the time. They're not gonna beat us." And I was just like, "Come on, man! You sound like Goliath right now."
That's the same thing that everybody said to them. It was like, oh, the United States Postal Service has got it all covered. No one's ever going to be able to compete with them.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, UPS and FedEx are successful.
And the U.S. Postal Service is dead,
Nah,
close to dead.
there's different reasons for that.
That's
It's a
true.
dinosaur.
That is true.
It is a dinosaur.
But it's just funny that people consistently hem and haw and say the little guy's not going to make it. And, like PayPal is another example. Everyone's like, paying money online, that's crazy. And now that's all we do is pay for things online.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
just thought.
What else has been Goliath lately? I guess, going back to the whole Olympics thing, Russia was kind of like some type of the previous record of countries who did the Olympics were like Goliath.
People expected Russia to fail.
They did.
We talked about that thing in the first segment. Everyone kind of went into the Olympics saying, "Oh, Russia's not going to do a good job." And now that it's over, I mean, nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
They had one star not open at the opening ceremony, and then they made fun of it at the end. So I mean, like, big deal. There were no terrorist attacks. There was an uprising. I mean, it went pretty well.
They also won.
They also did win 33 medals in total, which is a
Convenient.
lot. Yeah, it is convenient. It is convenient.
Convenient, Russia.
Mr. Putin, if you're listening. Yeah, so it was them that came in first, and then Norway and Canada and the United States. So we didn't even make it into the top three.
Yeah.
Goliath. Again, you fall. Again, you fall.
Wait, are we Goliath in this situation, or was Russia?
I think
Russia's
Russia
pretty
was
big.
not Goliath, ironically.
That's true,
Not this
yeah.
time.
Russia might have been David in the story.
David.
Because they definitely expected him not to make it through. But he seemed to do good.
Yeah, he did all right.
I did not think I'd be equating Russia to David today.
Yeah.
Yeah, did not.
It is funny though. There was so much media storm over how crappy Sochi was, and it was fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it had lots of troubles with, but they were all like the heat and the construction and whatnot.
Wolves roaming around,
Yeah,
which ended up being a Jimmy Kimmel
Yeah.
skit. But I did see this morning that scientists are predicting, like they are wont to do, that in 5 years or so, places like Sochi aren't going to be useful for the Winter Olympics because they're going to be too warm.
That was almost the case this time. It was very warm.
That's true.
So
They were having trouble keeping snow on the ground.
Hmm.
Did you guys hear how they kept the snow on the ground there?
No.
They stored snow from last snow season in underground caves,
Oh.
and like kept it wet, so in case they needed it. And they were worried that there wasn't enough snow with this. They were just going to dig this snow out of underground caves and spread it around.
classic Russia.
Classic Russia. Just storing stuff in
Storing
caves.
snow.
Storing snow.
Uh,
Yeah. Interesting, though. Like, I don't know. I tried to read up on it, and it was really confusing, so I stopped.
Wow.
That's about...
Yeah. I was hearing some other confusing stuff about them storing food in these caves.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what?
I'm sure I was misinformed. So,
Fair
I
enough.
don't want to put that on the radio then.
Yeah.
We're not. But
You can't lie on the radio.
No, yeah. You
You,
can only
can't
lie,
give misinformation.
only lie on the internet.
I didn't think you were allowed to lie there either.
You know, increasingly, I'm starting to believe everything on the internet is a lie. Like,
everything.
I scroll through Facebook now, and now Facebook has that kind of algorithm-y thing now where it just shows you stories that other people are reading, which is also really annoying. But, like, people share the dumbest stuff. Like, it's very, like, no, there was not a wolf walking through the dormitories in Sochi, Russia. That's very clearly a skit that someone's trying to pull on you. Like, it's just ridiculous.
It's even worse. So the news articles that are like, this girl walked into a car dealership. You
Oh.
won't believe what happens next.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Terrible.
Upworthy style titles are like the beginning of the end for fun internet, I think. It's so ridiculous. And people share them. People are like,
Yeah.
I wonder what did happen next. I want to click that and find out. Like,
She
come
bought a
on.
car.
She buys a car. Very simple. It would be a lot more fun if those headlines were just completely misleading.
Maybe that's the pull, unfortunate. But Facebook is interesting. This morning, my buddy showed me 2 posts about people, one buying a car and the other one selling a car, and they pop up right on top of each other. And he was confused if that was a Facebook algorithm thing because it was the exact same car, but it was 2 different random people's lives and then posted at the same time. They posted a guy on apart, but they were together on his news feed.
And they're friends of his?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's weird.
Yeah. So it's Facebook just linking these words together and putting.
I'm sure it is. And you know what's funny? I was on my work computer the other day working very hard by looking up camping supplies that I wanted to buy. And I looked at some kind of like camping axe, and the next thing I know, like Facebook, like, buy this cool axe everywhere. And of course, all the Amazon ads are like, you looked at this axe, you might also like this axe. So now I'm sitting at my desk and my boss is walking over and I look like an axe murderer trying to work on Excel sheets. But
you look at all these axes.
But it's like the internet's clearly paying attention more to you now.
Yeah.
And even creepier, we just did a big mailing at work. We use MailChimp. And I don't know if you guys have used MailChimp, but the data you can get from it is so creepy. It shows you who opened your email, where they opened it, when they opened it, what mail server they're using. It's just creepy.
One of the programs that we used on our website when we were rebuilding our website tells us everything that happens on that website.
Oh.
Where the visitor is from, how long they were on the page, where their cursor was in relation to the page, how long it hovered over this area, that area, whatever, where they clicked.
It's kind of
very
surprising.
detailed information.
It's surprising it took that long to get to this point on the internet. But we're getting there very quickly all of a sudden. Just kind of like, oh, you like to see what the people who visit your website look at? Look at all the things you can do now.
Yeah.
Just stock your shopper, I guess.
It's very tough.
Help you better your marketing.
Yeah. You know that Qualtrics, we use a survey tool here in the program that we work in, and it does heat map tracking that you can send someone a web page and then see where they look.
Yeah. I've always wanted to try that.
So have I. It's really creepy.
It is. Apparently, we're creepy. We're pretty creepy guys who love the creepy stuff.
But and you know it's funny because all this is starting to happen that we know where everything is with like the Edward Snowden NSA stuff like that, where we're always being surveilled, and like I am completely pretty much comfortable with that.
With always being surveilled.
I just don't expect to never not be surveilled.
Okay.
I mean, I don't like the idea of it, but honestly, you can surveil me all you want. You're not going to find anything.
Exactly. Like I'm
But
like
it's
It's
definitely
too clean.
yeah.
like I'm not
not-
actively
yeah.
doing crimes on the internet
Yeah.
Oh.
or off the internet for that matter.
It's definitely a privacy thing. Like
Oh,
why?
yeah.
But like I said, I don't really care because I'm not doing anything bad. But
Joe, and I feel like you don't like being surveilled.
I don't. I mean, my prediction is that privacy is going to become a commodity in the future.
Absolutely.
Now that everyone's so hungry or thirsty to be public, in the future, it's going to be a luxury to have your information private.
Well, I 100% believe that.
So
You know what's sad? There's going to be a market for privacy.
there is outrageous. It's like when they took away gas pumps and they said, "Hey, we got people to pump your gas for you."
Which is crazy.
That's something unique about us, you know. So it's gonna be the same thing. I feel people are gonna have to pay for privacy.
I saw today Alec Baldwin is about to publish a little missive in I think the New York Times magazine. I'm not sure which one, about how he wants to not be in the public eye anymore. And you know, Shia LaBeouf just did that whole like I'm not famous anymore thing because he doesn't want to be in the public eye anymore. But Baldwin was saying he wants to go back to LA because it's where you buy a house and have a big yard and a fence and a wall so you can't see anyone and no one can see you. So he's kind of like, he's going back to that private life because he doesn't want to be in the public eye in New York anymore.
I feel like LA is not the best place to go for private life.
I agree. Lots of
like you could-
cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
you
like
can go somewhere in the Midwest, the
The flyover
middle of the
states.
country.
The places we literally fly over. That seems better. But
This only goes out 60 miles, so I don't think we're going to offend anyone.
I don't think Missouri's going to be mad at us for making fun of them out there.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so
You
you've
know?
been listening to The Middle Ground
The middle ground.
on 88.3 The Saint WVCR. I think we're just about out of time.
I think so. So, you know, tune in. Feel free to listen to us every Saturday, 11:30 a.m. We'll be here, walking, treading the middle path, hopefully getting somewhere. But who knows?
Who knows?